And the Oscar goes to Michael B. Jordan.
Real careful, because Lori, boy, she be in my... I can't make no mistakes. I can't make stuff. I saw one of her exes somewhere at a game somewhere, and I shook his hand. Boy, I can't even touch his no more. I better not acknowledge him or look at him or nothing no more. So I'm off limits. If you are ex, your is my ex too. That's the rule. The rule in our house is any boy that's an ex, he's now my ex too.
Shout out to Donatella Versace for custom making this outfit for me, and shout out to Michael B. Jordan, because he's gonna be taking it off of me tonight.
I want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there.
What's the craziest rumor you've ever heard about yourself?
That I don't date black women.
Yes, I'm on vacation right now, okay? I'm traveling around. And newsflash, okay? All right? Yeah. There's not a lot of black women in Italy, okay? It's not. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's not, okay? Y'all plug it. I read through the comments and shit. Y'all tearing your boy up. It's too much, man. Y'all doing too much.
He had shown me a picture of me and him, the first pic that we ever took, and I was like, you should save that as your screensaver. So he was like, I don't know how. So I was trying to show him, and I saved the picture to his photo album on his phone, and then I clicked on the photo album to set it as a screensaver, and I saw a picture of him and Lori, the same exact pose.
What do you mean?
I mean, the same exact pose that he took with me.
Okay.
And he did the same with Lori.
Were they clothed or not?
No.
They weren't clothed?
No.
Lori Harvey.
The moment Michael B. Jordan's name echoed through the Oscars as Best Actor, it should have been a career-defining celebration. But within minutes, the internet flipped the script. Instead of applause, timelines filled with accusations, side-eyes, and one jaw-dropping claim after another. From whispers that he didn't deserve it, to a wildly controversial debate about whether he's even black enough for the win, the conversation spiraled fast. And just when it couldn't get any messier, rumors started flying that Steve Harvey, yes, that's Steve Harvey, has allegedly been throwing serious shade behind the scenes, reopening old wounds tied to Lori Harvey and their very public breakup. But hold on, because not everyone is letting that narrative slide. Nicki Minaj has reportedly entered the chat, and she's not here play nice. The room erupts, the envelope opens, and just like that, Michael B. Jordan is officially an Oscar winner. It should have been a clean, triumphant moment, the kind that seals a legacy. But instead of pure celebration, something strange happens almost instantly. The applause fades online, and in its place, backlash. Loud, messy, and deeply divided backlash. Suddenly people aren't just questioning the win, they're tearing it apart. Claims start flying that it was a pity Oscar. Others go even further, sparking a debate so wild it leaves people stunned. Is he even black enough for the moment he just claimed? And just when you think it's only internet noise, whispers start surfacing about industry voices allegedly throwing shade behind the scenes, including Steve Harvey. But hold on, because if that's true, there's at least one powerhouse who isn't staying quiet. Nicki Minaj is rumored to be stepping in, and if you know anything about her, you already know this isn't going to stay subtle. Now here's where things really start to spiral. Because the win itself? On paper, it made sense. Michael delivered a dual performance, playing twins in a demanding role that had critics talking for months. It was the kind of technical and emotional challenge the Academy usually loves. And for a huge part of the audience, this was overdue. People were celebrating, popping champagne, calling a long time coming. But at the exact same time, another wave of viewers was side-eyeing the entire thing. Not just disagreeing, but fully convinced he didn't earn it. That this wasn't a victory, it was a setup. And that's when the stolen Oscar theory starts gaining traction. Because before that envelope was opened, there was another name everyone expected to hear, Timothée Chalamet. He was the frontrunner, the safe bet, the one people assumed already had a speech ready. But then, right before voting closed, everything shifted. One interview, one moment, and suddenly he's trending for all the wrong reasons, dismissing opera and ballet in a way that didn't sit right with a lot of people. What should have been a smooth campaign turned into a PR headache overnight. And according to the chatter, that slip created an opening that Michael stepped right into. So now critics are asking, did he win because he was the best, or because the favorite fumbled at the finish line? That question feeds directly into the next layer of the controversy, because people didn't stop at the timing. They went straight for the performance itself. The twin role, which should have been a strength, somehow became the main argument against him. Critics started saying it wasn't really two characters, just one actor switching outfits. That the distinction between the twins wasn't strong enough, that the heavy lifting came from directing tricks and editing rather than acting. And that's where Ryan Coogler's name starts popping up, with some claiming the real genius was behind the camera, not in front of it. Meanwhile, fans of Ethan Hawke and Wagner Moura are watching all of this unfold like, are we serious right now? Because in their eyes, their favorites delivered career-defining performances that got completely overshadowed. But nothing, and I mean nothing, hits harder than the next controversy. Because this is where the conversation stops being about acting and starts getting deeply personal. The not black enough debate doesn't just question the win, it questions identity. The argument? That Michael represents a version of black success that feels too polished, too safe, too comfortable for mainstream Hollywood. That the Academy chose someone palatable instead of someone more raw, more radical, more representative of struggle. And that's where comparisons to Delroy Lindo come in, with some insisting his performance carried more authenticity, more weight, more truth. But here's the twist. This starts to feel less like critique and more like moving the goalposts. Because for years, people have demanded recognition for black actors, and now that it happens, suddenly it's the wrong kind of win. And just when you think the conversation can't get more layered, it takes a sharp turn into something much more personal. Because this is where things get messy. This is where things get really messy. This is where Steve Harvey allegedly enters the picture, not as a commentator, but as someone with history. Rumors begin circulating that behind closed doors, he's been downplaying the win, questioning whether Michael was ever good enough, not just as an actor, but as a partner to his daughter, Lori Harvey. And suddenly, what started as an awards debate turns into something that feels a lot more personal, a lot more calculated. Because now, the past is being pulled back into the spotlight. That relationship between Michael and Lori? People are revisiting it with fresh eyes, and not everyone is telling the same story anymore. There are whispers that narratives are being rewritten, that what looked like a clean breakup might not have been so simple behind the scenes. Add to that the ongoing scrutiny of Michael's dating history, and suddenly the conversation shifts again. Critics start questioning patterns, preferences, public image, all of it feeding into the bigger narrative people are trying to build around him. But the internet doesn't just sit back and accept one version of events. Almost immediately, the counterattacks begin. Because if Steve Harvey is allegedly throwing stones, people are quick to point out the glass house. His own past decisions, his family dynamics, and most notably, the controversies tied to Sean Combs start resurfacing. Old rumors, old connections, old questions about who knew what and when. And now the spotlight isn't just on Michael, it's on everyone involved. Credibility gets questioned, motives get dissected, and suddenly, this isn't just about one Oscar anymore. Then comes the part that pushes everything into full-blown conspiracy territory. The whispers get darker, the theories get deeper. Allegations of industry manipulation, power plays, and behind-the-scenes tactics start circulating. Connections between Michael, Diddy, and past relationships are pulled together into narratives that feel almost too wild to be real, but still impossible to ignore. Words like tapes, leverage, and control start showing up in conversations, raising the stakes in a way that goes far beyond award season drama. And while none of it is confirmed, the sheer volume of speculation keeps the story alive. And just when the tension hits its peak, a familiar voice enters the scene. and shifts the energy completely. Nicki Minaj doesn't just quietly support from the sidelines. No, she steps in like someone who's been waiting for this moment. Longtime fans already know she's been rooting for Michael for years, and now she's reportedly making it clear that she's not here for the takedown. In her view, this isn't just about an Oscar. It's about how the industry builds people up just to tear them down. And if she's framing this as insiders versus outsiders, gatekeepers versus challengers, then this story just became something much bigger than one man's win. So now the question isn't just what happened that night, it's what it all means. Was this a well-earned victory that's being unfairly picked apart? Or was it a perfectly timed when shaped by industry politics, public perception, and behind-the-scenes influence? And maybe the real question is this: why does it feel like no matter what Michael B. Jordan does, the conversation always finds a way to shift around him?